What? What's that?
What now, boy?
So this is notorious.
Dashboard. Dashboard. Okay. So this is so I can turn off the display mirror then. Alright. Auto. This is we're offline. Not sure. Maybe it just hasn't registered yet. Yeah. There it goes. Hide video.
Oh.
Ball. What I need to do is on the little bungee cord that I tie to the desk. So like when you start it, pull it too far like the bungee cord, kind of just to help, like, so you'll pull the tug on the cable before it actually gets pressure on the cords. Where the bungee cord is holding it. Yes. If they ever come close to you, get them. I did one time. I was by myself. GG did it twice in an hour. Roger didn't even yank it out. He's the guy I thought would leave your house where you did both. He'd be coming out with pieces. Raj is a shining example. We'd all take a piece off. Yeah, no, we'd all take a piece off like a piece of meat. Argus my shattered into 100 pieces because Raj is here. I really am surprised he didn't break anything. Like, I was saying it'd be funny, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm surprised he didn't like ram it through a wall like on accident or like smash it off itself. Yeah. He's like, oh, right, fresh. Just 3 parts. Like,
You know what? I stuck that box to the regular desk so it wouldn't slide around, but now I'm wondering like if I should just let it slide around. So, because you're
You
like,
can
here,
see this? Kicking ass.
you are. And as soon as you said that, you stopped kicking
so you mean like, I feel like the box is always gonna be floating.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, should I make it free floating again? So that it just, you hear it dragging across the floor?
Yeah.
Because right now it's stuck to the desk.
I've had mine that's stuck to my leg and it's been okay.
It's a little crusty.
I've dealt with it.
Well, I'm just glad we got that figured out. Did you die?
Yeah.
Got an achievement.
Then he went to options. Nice. Yeah, he got the options code. He unlocked options. He can now check the music settings.
We got an achievement for doing the options. How do you switch your bow?
I just switched hands.
That's so smart. Why did we not think about that? It's like if you really had a bow in your hand, you would just switch it to the makes sense.
Fucking Vive. So realistic. Plastic Oak didn't come back. So sad.
We just started.
Man, I know. I'm sad.
He's a real mark.
I mean, he was a vocal fan. Feedback is important in the early stages.
Get through.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. That's why I didn't hit it too hard. get back into Geist.
Yeah.
You ever want to have the stomach to come to my house and play 2D games?
That's kind of how I feel now.
You're like, yeah, whatever. Is that bad? What if you saw like 2 eyes or like a ghost come over? Would you not go check on your kid? If you saw a haint go checking the board.
Oh.
Outside, wake up to something top and crazy like a dude down a cat. They would wake up, they're both angry at me, like, why'd you try to kill him? I'm like, I wasn't, I was just asleep.
You got a leg up
Yeah.
like you're a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I will reel things in with my legs. Like, if you're in the bed, I will rake you. I'll rake you close to my body while we're asleep. You wake up and you're like, why am I close to you? And I rake you. You're asleep out there by yourself. I'm scared. Like, like, to me, it's a favor. If you're out there by yourself, you gotta rake you.
I get the sense that you're enjoying this game. Getting sweaty?
Awesome.
Return to the middle. Brookhaven, maybe?
Oh, is that the one with the thing, get the shit?
No, no. I
Well,
can't,
it's
I
the
can't,
one with the thing and the
Not
shit.
playing the zombies.
What?
Not playing the zombies.
Don't be a bitch.
I'm a bitch.
Bitch. Puss. Puss.
Oh, I got a mirror display here so we can see what he's saying. All right. So,
Boss.
budget cuts is really cool. Vertigo is cool.
Brookhaven.
Brookhaven experiment.
Experiment
Yeah.
is really tame, non-zombie game.
Yeah.
I'll play it. What the fuck?
Tilt Brush is for painting.
Plastic Oak's back.
Spellfighter VR is sort of cool.
Twitch Notified didn't help Plastic Oak, so that's something that happened.
Well, he made it back anyway.
He made it back in.
What about this one though? Thought it was, yeah,
He's a good guy,
He and or she are great people.
great person.
thought it was
Sorry, what are you looking
Cloud
at?
Atlas.
Cloudlands. My bad.
Cloudlands
Cloudlands?
mini golf. Yeah.
It's a little sensitive actually. I thought it would be fun, but when I played it, it wasn't a ton of fun. Honestly, it's only 3
Yeah.
holes, and it's
It took
very
him
sensitive.
like 22 hits.
It's very sensitive. Like it doesn't have the weight and feel of mini golf.
All right. Well, let me do the. What's Vertigo? What's that about?
Vertigo is a shooter,
Okay.
like you shoot little robots. It's cool. Also, Jibo Man is pretty cool.
Vertigo
Plastic
here.
Oak clarifies he is a he,
Well, thank you.
Smart.
or either that it was half of a laugh. He was like he. I'm pretty sure he's clarifying. He's
Probably. All right, we're playing Vertigo.
All right. What is Vertigo all about, Briz?
Well, this is just a demo, so it doesn't get too deep, but
Why are my hands upside down?
because you switched controllers, remember?
Oh, jeez, you're right. I did.
Honestly, I don't know. You walk around and you shoot robots. It's pretty cool.
I like that. I played a game like that on.
It's really weird how VR will make you scared of the stupidest stuff. Like the robots in this are just little balls with smiley faces on them, but they get so scary when they're in your face.
Anything that breaks into your personal bubble can become very
It's
intrusive.
true, yeah.
What was the game I played that had the robots? The robots.
We should let Plastic Oak vote for what we play next.
No.
Brookhaven Experiment.
Brookhaven Experiment.
How do you,
Plastic Oak.
how do you move?
All right.
Good now, boy.
He wants to know how you move there, Post.
Remember, if you're adjusting the cable, adjust it to your left, not to your right. There you go. We are getting a little twisted too. Maybe we should do an untwist session in a minute.
So he wants to know how you traverse this area.
Oh, it's a good question. Can you pick up a weapon or something that lets you teleport? Push a menu button.
Oh, wait,
here you go.
That looks important.
Okay, that's a little sword. Okay, that thing will let you teleport, I think, if you point it. Yep.
Oh, look at that.
So you should have a gun as well that you can switch to. I don't remember how exactly. Just try your menu button or trackpad.
Oh, look at that.
Did you see it go back to the Steam VR menu for a second?
Good.
Okay, yeah. See, I think that's like the little thing where it's rather than show you something that would make you uncomfortable, it just takes you back to the menu so you don't get disoriented. You know what I mean?
It's plastic hook has a comment.
I just can't see.
Games yet, just like seeing you play stuff was thinking about mini golf now with your comments. Well, it's only 3 holes.
Well,
it's
it's the demo.
It's the demo. Yeah, it's the demo of it.
I would say don't write it off just yet.
That's true.
Travis had a bad experience.
It would
with
take a lot of
but I
practice.
feel like Travis wasn't trying that hard.
Well, after I messed up the first like 3 times, I didn't really care as much.
Yeah.
But it is like a different weight. Like the ball seems very, very light.
And it's weird because you really should play it with only one controller.
I think so too. Like I had,
So
when
you
I
can
had 2
hold it like a
control-
golf ball.
Exactly. Like I had 2 controllers and I just kind of like let one arm free.
Yeah.
Just smacking it with one arm.
And it
And
feels
it's not
weird.
as accurate. Yeah.
I feel like if you hold it like a real putter,
Mhm.
2 hands, it would be a lot better.
Yeah, I would think so. You're right. I don't think I would write it off completely, but it would take a little bit of practice and getting used to. Like, I don't feel like it shares the same weight as a lot of the other games do with things. Like, it will take like 2 rounds to be like, okay, this is how this game kind of
Yeah.
operates to really get the hang of it.
But the good thing about it is there is a demo for it, so you can always try it out.
Yeah, try it with one controller for sure.
I have not heard of the 100-foot robot golf. Actually, is that like giant robots, like kaiju kind of stuff?
It is. Yeah.
I think
Is
I
that
actually
an-
did
is that
see
an
a
anime
picture
term?
of that. Yes. Kaiju is like, well,
I'm not writing it off. I just don't know about it.
not that I'm into anime, but with
Jake's an anime.
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim. Yeah,
The Jelly
Pacific Rim.
the specific
That rim.
That was kaiju.
Okay. I've not seen it.
Godzilla is a kaiju.
Yeah, it's just a
Oh.
class of large monsters. That's what I'm checking.
Okay. Interesting.
It's for PlayStation VR,
Oh, there you go.
which Jake might be in the market for.
Jake, are you in the market for PlayStation VR?
More than likely.
Oh.
More than likely.
Has this experience helped you?
Yes, I will definitely say my interest is peaked. And by peaked, I mean P-I-Q-U-E-D, not P-E-A-K-E-D, like a systems engineer work to me. Yeah.
Man, the things you get angry about.
Well, you know, you say you're educated, you work in the aerospace industry, and you don't know how to spell fucking peaked, you're a fucking asshole.
My interest was stroked a little bit, massaged. That's what I meant by picked. You can destroy a building in your way through, which is a wrinkle. I would say that's more than a wrinkle. If you can destroy a building, I would say that's pretty big.
You know what? This building's in
Oh my god, what was this?
That's pretty cool, though. That's pretty cool. I like that idea a lot. I like golf as an idea for this because you do have this defined play space, and in golf you're not like picking up the ball and running with it. Right. Like you just
teleport straight to the ball.
exactly you operate with it. Like golf makes perfect sense. So if they can make as many golf games as they want, I would be happy to play all of them. Are you trying to run us off at any point? Sorry, are you trying to run us off here at any point?
No,
So I could happily read beer one more time.
do it.
Okay.
How the hell do I get out of here?
It is Friday.
Be careful when you reach to the ground. Sometimes the ground isn't exactly calibrated in games. There is, so you Yeah. Okay. So this is sort of the demo of the campaign. So you can shoot those things to get energy. The little thing you can hold in your hand with the glowing ball, it can teleport you, but if you if you use the trackpad, you can change what it does. You can make it slow down time instead. And it uses some kind of energy juice, which is that stuff that you picked up. So you can only slow it down for a certain amount of time or whatever. But that's useful for when you run into enemies and you want to take them out without getting shot.
Now what do I do?
There's a door there. You gotta go touch it with your hand. So there you go. And then you'll run into a robot at some point that wants to kill you, so you might want to shoot it. There you go. You squirt something in your pocket. So you're driving down the
Like Tracy, you need to get the whip of the peach stuff. She's gonna be like, I'm asleep.
I think you almost did, son.
And then Morgan she'll be like, why did you wake me up with peach stuff? So Plastic Oak, that reminds me of a Super Nintendo game called Mecha Robot Golf. You play golf as a robot.
That sounds pretty much exactly like that.
I think that's a game.
Except it's not in VR, unfortunately.
Of course, yeah, it's on a Super fucking Nintendo with 16 bits, but
Alright, I
see
think
if
if
that
you flip
exists.
that switch, you open the door somewhere that you can go to.
I think you're right.
I think maybe you didn't flip it all the way, because I feel like that door behind you should open. No, it's open. Is there a button to open the door?
there it is. Yeah. Mecha Robot Golf is an arcade-style golf video game released for the Super Nintendo. There you go.
What do you know?
There you go. Maybe it's just
Your retro knowledge.
do you guys have Monstrum? He says.
No, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Explain what Monstrum is. That'd be awesome. Sounds fun.
Unfortunately, I spent most of my money on a Vive. Not to mention the computer that runs it.
What you're seeing here are 3 really poor people playing with a Vive.
Yeah, that's why I have a lot of demos. Also, a lot of games aren't actually out
It's on
yet.
sale.
Well, let's take a peek.
Let's go check it out.
Monstrum.
I can't get out of this fucking room.
Oh, it's only $5. It's got very positive reviews, Brian. You'd be an idiot for not buying it.
Watching the trailer. Is this a VR game? Or is this just a regular game? It's a Oculus Rift game.
Oh.
I think you can make some Rift games work with the Vive by using some third-party program. This thing looks terrifying.
So the computer's that way, yes?
Yeah, to your right.
Yep.
I guess it's you can play it VR or you can just play it 2D is what it looks like. It looks pretty freaky.
I'm okay with freaky.
I like freaky.
You like getting freaky.
Me and Briz play some freaky games.
I have a tough time with scary stuff in VR. It's too real.
Buttstuff.exe.
Like I was screaming like a little girl playing Brookhaven.
Yeah, you were.
It was so bad.
I thought I was going to have to hold you and rock you to sleep.
But that does look cool. For $5. Oh. broke the revive thing.
Yeah, they have the DRM.
Yeah. I guess they want to play it on their headset, but
Yeah, you have to.
you
click
would
on
also sell games. Well, I guess that one you don't have to buy off the store. It's a big fan of the exclusive thing, but
Well, I mean, I said they're not in it to make money. They just want to have the experience, and they were like, DRM everything. Like,
I don't think Oculus. Now maybe before the Facebook.
5 months ago.
Maybe before that they said something like store for a long time. But I looked at this beautiful open space
Yeah.
and said, you know what? I want to be able to use this. So I canceled that.
Like,
There are some people that,
I'm not saying the Oculus isn't good,
yeah,
but Vive seems to be more.
Vive is like but they don't have it now.
Right.
They sell Vives on the shelf in retail.
I'm in Oculus. We're Oculus. Which is crazy.
But apparently I don't know if that helps at all. We can't hear ourselves, unfortunately. But yeah, apparently, like people that are ordering a Vive now can get it. Like they're almost which is good. So you should buy one.
I'm happy with my 6 Super Nintendos.
Yeah. I just know there's going to be multiplayer games. Yeah, that will be so awesome. Now,
Maybe Tim should get it. Yeah, have you talked to Tim about it?
I haven't.
Is
But
I feel like he's a big skeptic.
He would be the one to do it.
He's maybe a skeptic.
Maybe I'll take it up there and he'll.
Yeah, I feel like he's got to appreciate it. I mean, he appreciates things that are different. He doesn't like the same kind of experience. He's not the kind of guy that if a game is grind at it. If it's different, he'll love it. I feel like it's
There's a game coming out for all data, which is it's a game sort of like this, but it's two vertical lines. So there's everybody instead of this one, cyborg things that are coming at you, and also some flying ones and stuff. But you can
Right. Yeah. This is
I was there.
yeah. Like your kids are gonna see this, and they're gonna be about certain consoles that define our childhood. They're gonna be like, hey, this is the thing we had in the house. Dad had this, and this was great.
Yeah.
This is gonna define them.
It had a cable that ran to the computer. Can you believe it?
Can you believe it? This fucking cable that Jake kept fucking yanking out. Yeah, and we had to restart the computer every fucking time to get to work again.
Stop it.
We had to stop the fucking streams of Plastic Oak could watch and listen. Yeah. Plastic Oak, by the way, if you think we're mildly entertaining, you should check out the Polykill podcast. We do one, and there's 19 episodes out. You should check it out. If you don't mind doing that, that'd be great.
Get the plug in there. Sponsored by Calvin Tech.
Sponsored by Accounting Technologies LLC.
Wow.
Uh,
Did you see that?
you got
Yeah, I
hit
saw
like
that.
4 times in a row.
You did really well though. You got to 2650.
Oh, hey, I don't think I told you, when you have the shield and you pull the trigger, it sends out like a pulse.
Yeah, I
that
dealt with
will
that.
disperse bullets and stuff. I want to see one of you guys get on my leaderboard, so I'm not the only one.
I got close there.
You were on it, and then I took you off it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's one game. It's right there.
This game and games like it, like Hollow Point, are really fun because it's just like jump in, doing some things. But like I said in my blog post,
Yeah. You should check out on polykill.com.
that's right. Tell all your friends.
Tell all your Plastic Oak, tell all your friends. Tell Wooden Oak and Rubber Oak
Yeah.
and all your other
And wood oak.
and all your other tree types. Tell them about it.
Yeah. And the only thing that I really want right now is like a game full single player campaign. Like,
Yeah.
like a good solid 8
Yeah, I mean,
hours.
what about your Starseed game? Did that not satiate? I mean, was it?
It was too short.
It was short,
It was
but
too short.
It was better than what you had, right? So
Yeah.
campaign game.
I feel like it was just enough for you to get really interested in the story, and then it ended.
So is it episodic? Is there more
It
to
is.
it?
There's
Okay.
gonna be more.
All right, so
I-
that's not terrible.
Here's my hope. The first episode. This is what I'm hoping is the case. The first episode was really short because they
Boo.
had to spend their time figuring out how to make things work well in VR.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we got to figure out, the teleport system that works best. We got to figure out, the backpack system. We got to figure out all just the little details of how things work to make it comfortable for VR. So I'm hoping now that they got that figured out, episode 2, they can make it 4 hours.
That'd be cool. Well, it's a long episode for VR.
Dear Cloudhead Games.
I feel like it's a long episode.
Well, I guess it depends on how far apart they are. If they're like Telltale,
Yeah.
then okay.
2 hours is fine. If they're 3
But
months
if
apart.
they stay the 2 hour length, they need to drop the price.
How much?
It was $30.
Oh my god.
I know. I bought Walking Dead Michonne, which is a 3-episode game.
Not a VR game.
Not a VR game, just a 3-episode episodic game for $15.
That was on 3 episodes.
It was 3 episodes. It was a mini series.
Okay.
So that was probably came to $3.5.
Yeah.
So that I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. But I don't know that I could do another $30 for episode.
Fine for
If
2
it
hours.
was $15, okay, I might do that.
Maybe, yeah, even maybe.
But I know there's like
If I spend $5, I expect to have. I feel like I pay about. I don't even know. But I feel like if I buy something for 5 hours, I expect like at least 2.5, 3 hours of fun.
yeah.
And then I kind of multiply that. So if I buy something for 60 hours, I expect my phone. That's why, like, new games, I usually not.
Yeah, for sure. Unless they're games like Skyrim or Fallout.
And a lot of it's because I have these walls of games. This, I can just play these until that gets cheap. I don't care if I play behind the curve. I'm pretty good at there are spoilers. I can just play Evermore, which is a 30-year-old game, for this game that came out to drop down to the price it is. That's good. VR, it's the same. I mean, is it harder to develop? I feel like it's probably harder to develop for VR. I think,
In terms of like making a game that you can, quote unquote, play in VR is as simple as adding like a VR controller in Unity or Unreal Engine. However, things like how do you handle movement, how do you handle menus, all that stuff is turned on its head.
let's say
And,
UI,
like,
UX kind of thing.
Yeah.
Somebody gets paid to do that specifically.
So
Nice.
what? So the have Travis say something. I think you're just further away from the mic.
Hello. I'm sorry, I'm not too far away.
I'm kind of leaning up on it. Yeah, you're hanging way back there.
Let me get up there. Shit.
Get up on Rich.
Sorry about that, Plastic Oak.
So the $30 price tag for the first episode, it was steep, but it's the only game like it available right now. So it has that going for it.
Starseed? You talking about Starseed?
Starseed. And it's also kind of like a donation. It's like, I like what you guys are doing.
Please do
I want
more.
you to do more of it.
That makes sense.
I'm just hoping that as more people get Vives and they have a larger install base, they drop the price because they don't need to make as much back.
Do you think E3 2017 we see VR specific games? Is that too soon for a VR? I feel like a podcast. That's a good podcast question. That's a good question.
I think it's entirely possible to see specific.
Do you think do you think this year we'll see console games that support VR, and then next year we'll see VR specific games, or do you think it'll take a while before we see VR specific games? Like, I almost don't feel like VR is broken into the space enough to be like, this isn't premature. Like, we can still release it.
Now, are you talking about like, will we see it in Xbox press conference, or will there just be a preview?
I don't think we'll see anything in Xbox press conference, but maybe a PlayStation.
I think PlayStation is going to show a bunch of stuff this year because they're launching. They're going to show all of their PSVR exclusives.
Yeah.
But in terms of like,
I'm excited about it. I think what they show, whether or not it's good or bad, really, it doesn't matter, because the fact that they're showing it like is going to make everyone else be like, we need to show something
yeah,
in VR. I mean, it might, maybe it'll push the buck for Valve or Vive or whatever to have their own kind of press conference to show off some stuff. I mean, everybody's got to show off something. This is the kind of the next iteration. Like when they talk about the Xbox 1.5 or the PlayStation 4.5, I feel like this is a big part of it. They have to show off something.
Hope agrees that PlayStation yeah,
I agree, absolutely.
like how many PlayStation 4s are out there already? Like 50 million or something
Way
stupid?
more than there are Xboxes.
Yeah.
And
So-
probably way more than there are PCs capable of running Vive. There's probably more PlayStations that do that, so why not?
So Vive and Rift are causing a big VR buzz right now. And then come October, people are going to be able to scratch that itch with PSVR.
Yeah, because that's going to be the lowest common denominator way to get it.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy a nice PC. You can just buy this peripheral from Sony. You trust Sony. You've had Sony. Everyone's had a PlayStation or a PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3. Everyone's had one of those versions. You trust them. They're going to send that out. They're going to have games. They're going to have franchises that you know. And I mean, it's so smart. It's going to people will buy it. It's going to be your foray into it if you don't own a PC. It's the easiest way to access it.
They are coming in at $399 price point. It's a killer because we just assume that the consumer already has a PlayStation 4. So they look at, okay, I can spend $400 at PlayStation VR. I can spend $600 for a Rift plus whatever I need to pay for the touch controllers whenever that comes out, or $800 for Vive.
Right.
It's
Easy choice in that situation. Absolutely.
Now, if I had a PlayStation 4, maybe I would have waited.
Well, and I also wonder, like, when you think about Sony's press conference, sure they might touch on VR and of course Last Guardian and the slew of other games we're talking about. They have to talk also about their next generation console, which I feel like might be more tailored to their VR concept. So they might say, hey, you know, your PlayStation 4 will run this, but PlayStation 4 will run it better. Yeah, and they'll try to push everyone toward this new console, which I'm not excited about, but it is what it is. And also, if you like our banter, please check out Polykill.com. We have tons of podcasts out there for you to check out. They're Plastic Oak. If you like just hearing a couple guys talk about shit, it's a good thing.
It's not about VR.
Not all the time. No, this is the only time we can.
Although this
Yeah, absolutely. Friday night Vive every Friday night. Vive.
Now, what I think would be really interesting is if Xbox has some.
Are they partnering with Oculus somehow? I feel like there's a partnership. What do I
There's
think?
some sort of agreement where Rift comes packaged with Xbox.
Right.
So there's some collaboration. And they're also.
The HoloLens is their thing.
Yes. But that's going to be a totally different beast.
It is, but I feel like it's a different beast for sure in terms of VR gaming. But it could also be its own. Like it's the difference between AR and VR, right? So AR being, you know, what's in your field of view is still there, and then AR adds to it, whereas VR is everything in your field of view and more. This AR thing could be this whole different thing. It could be its own monster. So like we all saw the Minecraft thing, right? I mean that could extend well above and beyond Minecraft, and it could be a monster in its own right. So we don't even know. So if they could get the VR side and the AR side, I mean I don't know how you split consumers that way. It's like a lot of money, but I don't know how it would work. I don't know how they would sell it or package it. They have a lot of bases covered.
But I feel like even in their demonstrations, things like, you put it on and some guy somewhere else on the web shows you how to replace or something, and he can draw arrows in your physical space. NASA is using for service of water or something. But you are limited to a very narrow field, and you see your real world.
You see your real world, which I think
Like
is
you
important.
couldn't do a game. I mean, you could do a game like this, but it would just be the robots in your room,
Right.
Not robots in this weird space.
Right. So I had a professor to share with Plastic Oak, because I think I've told you this. I had a professor that gone to Microsoft as a personal invitation. Like he's one of the leaders in AR in terms of research. He got to go to this Microsoft get together where there were a lot of professionals there for an early view of the Microsoft HoloLens, and he got to use it, and he actually got to play a game with it. And he remarked how cool it was that he could. So they had these scenarios set up where like you would go into a room, you'd wear the HoloLens, and there would be a couch and a room. Like he said, it looked exactly like anybody's living room. It's situated that way, it was so generic. And you could hide behind the couch, and monsters would come out of the walls, and you could hide behind the couch's cover, and pop up and shoot them, and hide behind your own couch, and duck and hide and all this stuff. And I was like, man, that is just so cool. And that's something you don't get out of VR, because VR doesn't know the couch. But, you know, and maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, I don't know. But for this game, it sounded like a really cool idea. Like there were aliens coming from this hole in the wall, like you were defending your house from aliens. And that's pretty cool. Like, I don't know how that could extend to any other game. Like, I try to think of, like, okay, so that's cool. So aliens coming to your house sounds cool. So what else could you do? I don't know. So I don't know how, like, it seems like a very thin premise. It seems almost like a really big gimmick.
It's just an excuse to shoot stuff.
Yeah, but you know, and you get some other things where it's like, you know, you can use the HoloLens environment as your computer, and if you want to hide a file, you can hide it under a couch cushion and like see if anybody finds it. It's like you can hide a file in Windows, but you can also hide a file in HoloLens, where you hide it under a cushion of your couch, or you hide it behind a file cabinet and stuff like that. And that's where I guess it gets interesting. So, you know, when you talk about gamifying the HoloLens, I think it's very thin. Like, there's what you saw with the Microsoft thing, where you can look at a 3D world and manipulate it, and that's very cool. That's very good for, like, you know, city simulation and maybe Civilization and Minecraft. And then there's obviously shooting aliens through your wall, which is a very niche thing. So I don't know. I'm interested in how it works out, but it sounds like it's pretty cool.
You know, there's been, you know, back when they first announced their kind of deal with Oculus to include a controller, there was some kind of talk about, like, what if Xbox somehow supported the Rift? Like, you plug your Rift into your Xbox. I don't know how feasible that is. But that would be pretty amazing if they pulled something like that at E3.
Well, feasible from a
Keep
hardware
talking, I'll be
specific.
right back. I'm listening.
Right. So feasible from a, like, how could the hardware push this thing, right?
Yes.
Right. So, but they are coming out. Well, so we suspect that they're coming out with a beefed up version of the Xbox 1.5 or whatever, and we suspect that PlayStation's going to come out with this 4.5 and their PlayStation VR. So why should we not expect Xbox to rival that and say, hey, you'll get your beefed up Xbox version, which they've already said might be modular, which I think is great if they allow third-party components to that. So you can, you know, it's competitive for the price point, right? So you get your Xbox One video card that's supposed to support, you know, Blu-ray and 4K, and there's also this Mad Catz version that's a little cheaper and maybe a little buggier. You can get it too. But you can also support the Oculus. I mean, I don't see that being a problem. Like, I feel like I actually see that as happening this year. Like, if I feel like in the history of E3 between Microsoft and Sony, one has never been so far ahead of the other that it's been obvious. Like,
Except for the 1 year.
that 2013 E3,
Was it 2013?
where it was like
It was the Xbox One and the PlayStation
Where they
4.
released.
Yeah.
but even then they weren't so far ahead of each other that it's
Well, not technologically.
not technologically,
I mean,
but from an attitude
PlayStation
perspective.
stole the show.
Yes,
But-
exactly. But hardware-wise, they weren't that far apart. They weren't as far apart as the sales figures represented. They were that far apart in terms
Hey,
of
look,
how
there's Jake.
the people explained to them. So I feel like, you know, when you talk about, like, this generation, the E3 coming out, Microsoft will have something to.
VR is the reason the X is delayed. No, I'm gonna say no.
I thought that. That thought occurred to me, Plastico. Well, and
They said that
They're
it
gonna
is the best story to tell the principal. I thought it was free for kids.
okay, so he's talking to your Idiots, but sure, whatever. But you think about it, like this, for as backward as Nintendo is, and as stupid as you want to feel like they are, you want to feel like Nintendo's like that game of Nintendo like constantly, right? Everyone like when you saw like Zelda's delayed and they're only or I'm sorry, the NX is delayed and they're only going to show Zelda. Your first word out of your mouth was like, goddamn Nintendo, right?
My first words were,
Yeah, which is the same as goddamn. Yeah, and then you said like, oh, we're going to just do, we're going to focus on medical equipment in movies, and you're like, goddamn Nintendo, like you roll your eyes constantly. But in an age where your two competitors, or no, I'll sorry, your three competitors, you're talking about PC, Steam, which is vital, very very vital competitors in like Vive, and Sony and Microsoft are all doing VR, right? And you're like, well, if you recall, I think it was earlier this week or maybe last week, the new president of Nintendo said Kinect is a new way. It's a new way, which does not imply different. You know what? Come on, think about it. We? Yeah, well, we are part of that, but the Congo people, yeah, well, they had good shower. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, sure. Yeah, everybody remembers that. 2006 was a horrible year for everybody musically and immediately. The problem is,
I actually listened to some games this week from my and you compared it to where it's now. This guy was talking about how stuff. The hard part is we didn't have to stick to that. Take less than kids. Of course. Right. You do something fancy to the toast. You don't just
Briz is currently trying out the VR audio.
What? What's wrong?
He says, is there a mic attached to your VR setup? Because I think that your audio feed switched to.
There is a microphone on this thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I know what happened.
What happened, Briz?
I added go add here, add line in.
Add a line
Or no, sorry, add audio source.
Add
Audio input.
audio input capture.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And then choose existing line in.
Existing line in.
How many viewers we got? Is that better there, Oak? Is that better there, Oak?
So
I've already peddled the podcast.
No, I know you have.
Did you hear that when you were in the issue? You should check out the podcast. We do a podcast where you can fix it.
All right.
Fuck yeah, dude, nice.
So here's what I did.
What'd you do there?
What'd you do?
What'd
you do there, old
so
put?
that we can't hear the mic in here,
Uh-huh.
but the mic is its own audio source instead of coming through with everything else.
Uh-huh.
So that if you switch scenes, you need to add the line in.
I'm not going to remember any of that in like 2 minutes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Nintendo.
Yeah, so like this guy was talking about he wanted to fix toast.
No, I don't think he wanted to do anything.
No, that's
with
what I was
toast.
talking about. He was talking about cooking and how his wife would tell him, look, just keep it simple. That's what people want. Don't add the flair. Just make a nice piece of toast, which is what Nintendo needs to do.
You just want them to make toast.
I just want him to make some nice toast, Just give me
Yeah,
nice,
well,
crunchy,
see,
buttery toast.
See,
Just give me something to play Mario on, Metroid on, Zelda on. I don't need a new way to play a game.
I wouldn't be surprised if they came out to rival Nintendo and Microsoft with some VR, but I don't think they will. I think they're going to come out with a way to combine your TV with your handheld.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
I love the idea of just unplugging something from my TV and walking away with it.
I think that's still a game changer because neither Microsoft nor PlayStation.
Well, Nintendo owns handheld.
Yeah, even given
strength.
the Vita, they still own. Nintendo still owns the handheld market.
Does Plastic Oak have a suggestion for a game?
Plastic Oak, what game would you like Briz to play, please?
Yes.
We have a
we used to play the zombie one.
Select few, but if you name one that we have, we will indeed play it. But I think that I don't think they have a VR answer.
No, I don't think so either.
But
It would be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see what they do have.
I'm excited.
Because really, all that's going to happen is they're going to say, "This is our answer," and either it's going to go over well, or everyone's going to sell their Nintendo stock and say,
I'm very scared for Nintendo.
"Yeah." I feel like they're on the precipice. I mean, they're doing all sorts of weird. They sold all their stock in the Mariners. They're diversifying or trying to diversify the company into fast food.
Call
restaurants.
of the Starseed, Briz.
Call the Starseed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just they're definitely at a
Thank you, Plastic Oak. We really appreciate it.
at a crossroads. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. But here's one thing that's for sure.
What's the one thing that's for sure?
It's several things under this one umbrella.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Those franchises under Nintendo won't disappear.
No,
If
part of
Nintendo
their-
goes under, Mario
Mario
will
survive.
persevere.
Yeah.
You know, you'll lose Nintendo, but you'll keep the things you love about Nintendo because
Hopefully.
Nintendo will make sure that those things.
Well, that's the thing.
Persevere.
No one ever actually gave an actual shit about. Stick with me here. I know this is going to maybe ruffle some feathers, but no one actually cares about the NES or the Super NES. They care about the specific games that are on them.
Yeah.
I feel like now people are more attached to the platform than they are the games. Which in the 80s it was like, I like Mario, I like Zelda, I like Metroid, and now it's like, I like Xbox, I like PlayStation. People are more attached
That
to the
is true.
platforms than
That
they
is
are the
true.
games that are on them.
To an
an
extent.
extent.
To an
Yeah.
extent. Yeah, absolutely. To an
So
extent.
what I'm saying is, like, it would not hurt Nintendo in any way to just do away with having their own platform, and
I bet people said that about.
Oh, yeah, we're cut
we
off.
have to scroll to the right.
Hold on.
It
Say.
said. I bet you want to
Shit.
go right there.
Yeah, I'm
you just
working on
want to
it.
click on
I'm
it. And
working-
click. I bet people said that about Sega too. Look at them now. That's a good point.
You're absolutely right.
It's a good point.
But Sega ended up licensing.
they
and
licensed-
Sonic survived.
Sonic survived.
That's
and
about it.
Sega is still miraculously a company.
But the thing about Sega is they didn't really have any good flagships aside from Sonic, or at least recognizable,
Yeah, that's true. So they started out with Alex Kidd,
which was awful.
which was
That's
not
awful.
good. Sonic was obviously a boon,
Right.
and extended beyond just the where it started, the Master System, and then the Genesis, the
32X,
every
CD.
single one of their platforms, all the way up to the Dreamcast and beyond. Even after they got it was an IP that could be sold. Nintendo picked it up, became part of like a Mario Sonic Olympic
Olympics.
thing,
Right.
and beyond. Sonic is not strong right now.
No,
Sonic is not a franchise that people look for.
No.
It's been kind of run into the ground, even with
Yeah.
its sole licensing, which is why I'm skeptical. So, like, let's say Nintendo sells some Mario licensing. Let's say it's like, hey, you can Xbox, Microsoft can make Mario games now.
I don't think it should ever be that way. I think Nintendo should make it and it just be distributed on other platforms. They should never turn those licenses over to somebody else other than those dev teams, in my opinion.
So
Because you don't want somebody else making a Mario game other than Nintendo. But I would love to be able to play a Mario game on a different platform.
I agree with that, but I just don't know how that's.
Can you guys see what I'm seeing?
Yeah,
I think so.
You got
Yeah.
a loading screen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It says not unresponsive.
Yeah,
Get
it
the
says
gallery.
saving checkpoint, but it's also at
It's
the bottom.
fine. It always says unresponsive when it's loading.
Okay, so I
Okay.
guess you're still loading.
But yeah, like I see. What is he? What is he
Look what
says?
Bethesda's
Then
doing
again,
with vid games, yeah. That's a good point.
That's true. I mean, but they own. And Bethesda's a company that owns and takes really good care of the things that they own. Like they bought the ID Works or whatever,
Right.
and they've taken really good care of Wolfenstein. They've taken
id.
really good care of. I'm sorry, id. They've
Doom.
taken really good care of Doom.
Yeah.
And
They've developed new stuff under.
new stuff, and I feel like it's come from a direction of where it began. Like
Yeah, it's care. It's good
it,
care.
if you look at like anything EA has bought,
It's kind of tanked.
Maxis, anything that was derivative of Maxis, it's been kind of a downward
I
spiral
feel like
of
Bioware.
doom.
I feel like Bioware has survived.
BioWare,
look
I
at
mean,
Dragon Age. Those games have done well.
Yeah,
Those are good games.
Bioware. Maybe I guess.
Mass Effect. You can't argue.
Mass
with the
Effect
six
was an
of them.
EA.
It was Bioware.
Was it Bioware?
Bioware,
Okay, fine. So Bioware does well.
Bioware does well.
Maxis got suffocated into submission.
Yes.
Who made Dead Space?
Oh, Visceral? I don't
Visceral.
know. I don't
You're
know.
right.
Is
No,
it
you're
Visceral?
right. It is Visceral. So it became a little more. I mean, it still survived, but it became a little more mainstream. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So that's not really that bad. So
No.
so we'll say Dead Space and
Well, I think Maxis is definitely the exception.
Maxis got suffocated to death.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cannibalized a bit.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, but you can see both ways that it can happen, right? So, you know.
Ooh, Zelda by Blizzard. That's man, yeah, that would be cool. I mean, they've got the. See, the thing about the Zelda games, in my opinion, is kind of like we discussed on the last episode of the Polykill podcast. Which
Polykill podcast there, all plastic oak. We'll
yeah.
take everybody we can get.
But the cool thing about Blizzard is they do lore better than they do story.
They do art better than all things.
They do art better than all things.
Their art is iconic and amazing.
So I think, with the world of Hyrule and the Legend of Zelda, it's basically a lore-driven series completely. I mean, there are stories within it.
But here's the thing.
lore-driven.
Here's the thing I see with Blizzard. Name one character you can remember from Blizzard.
Exactly.
Game. So Link.
I mean, now I think they're getting some with
Maybe.
what's her name? Trigger? Zipper? I don't know. From Overwatch. You know
Right.
what I'm talking about. Yeah, she's kind of becoming an icon.
Yeah, but she had some controversy over her sexuality, which helped her into the news stories. But if you think about it in terms of like name a Blizzard character ever that
Right.
they've created, they don't really have an iconic character.
But
They're really good at making cocaine.
Yes.
They're really good at making a game that's extremely addictive that anybody will play.
Yes.
And I agree with that. I love their art style and I love their game mechanics.
Yes.
I think Blizzard is the best at making games. But when it comes to like writing lore and that kind of thing, we talked about, the difference between, in the last
Lore and story.
Polykill podcast, the difference between Battleborn and Overwatch. Battleborn's probably going to have the better story.
It's going to be story heavy.
It's going to be more of a game that you enjoy
Plus
as a
named
spectator.
character, so Arthas.
What's that now? Blizzard is looking for a new project. Overwatch is coming out. Zelda by Blizzard. Arthas.
Do you understand any of that?
Arthas, I
Yeah.
think is a Blizzard character.
This is a character. Okay. And that's fine.
Yeah.
If they,
I don't think the general population can.
if they can come up with a
massacre.
character that can stick with people, that's great because I think that's what people are looking for.
Yeah.
In any game that they play, they're looking for a character that perseveres. Like they create themselves, but they're also looking for a character that they can derive from that and say, "Oh man, I really remember that game with X character." Whether it's a villain, I mean, villains are memorable, even if you don't play as them.
Right.
When I think of Far Cry, I think of the villain. I don't think of myself.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that all comes down to writing and acting, voice acting.
Well, I think the interesting thing is when you look at the people, look at the characters that we're attached to. We're in our 30s.
Yeah.
Characters we're attached to: Samus, Mario, Link, Ganondorf, Mother Brain. All these characters that we know from childhood.
Nintendo.
They had no dialogue. They had no character. They were literally a piece of art.
Piece of art, yeah, with
But eventually, over
a
time,
vibe.
yeah, well, a slight vibe.
A slight,
But
yeah.
I mean, there was no emotional depth to them. They were very two-dimensional, literally, like emotionally and actually. So it's weird that we got attached to them, but because now, like the performance capture and the ability to make a character that's so deep, yet still in the 21st century, I've yet to be extremely attached to a set of characters as much as I am to them. So I think it's place and time.
That's true. I've come close
strange.
though.
Yeah, I mean,
come
I've gotten
close.
like
feel like-
Cortana. Cortana for me, man, that one's huge.
That didn't
I
do
know
it for me,
I know
but
it did it for you.
I totally can see why though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't. It wasn't. I guess I didn't hit it right place, right time. It was more of a game like I was trying to get through, as opposed to a game that like I was really looking forward to. And I think that's a huge difference.
But here's the weird thing: 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 15 probably. The kids that are playing games now, they're going to be attached to Marcus Phoenix or Minecraft or something like that, like we're attached to our golden age.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
Yeah.
And what makes me sad is Nintendo might miss out on that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's very sad.
because they've done it for multiple generations.
I think
And
amiibos
this,
help.
I think this is going to be one of the ones that, amiibos are going to help.
Amiibos help. Smash Brothers helps because those are individual identities that you can be a part
But I
of.
think as a whole, I mean, if you look at game sales, obviously a lot of older people are buying games, but I got a feeling that Nintendo's gonna wax a little bit.
I teach elementary school, and
Be surprised
you
what
would be
kids
surprised by what the kids are into.
I don't know if I would.
Actually, could you tell us what the kids are
Elaborate.
into? Like, could you?
Is it like GTA 5 and Black Ops? And
I don't
shit?
want my feelings hurt, but I would actually like to know what kids are actually into. Are they? I would imagine a lot of kids are into like Disney and Skylanders.
No, I don't think so.
At an elementary school level, I would imagine
No,
that.
kids at elementary school, they're reading Game of Thrones and watching Game of Thrones. No, it's true.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think they're completely missing what's
A
intended
lot
for them?
of them are, yeah.
I'm sure that they are.
So we just did a video game art project. Okay, this should be good.
Oh boy!
This should be good. We're chomping at the bits here. Let's see what happens.
And the kids,
What are you doing over there, Briz?
The kids are for sure into
breaking shit?
Black Ops and stuff. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, I can see the kids being.
But they shouldn't be, right?
They shouldn't be. No,
Why
those
not?
are adult
Now,
games.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Where 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
if a game as awesome as Black Ops were to drop, would I be playing it and love it? Yes.
Well, here's the thing. Our generation, when Grand
would
Theft
have.
Auto 3 or whatever came out, our parents didn't know about it, and we could totally pick it up and buy
true.
it, and they were none the wiser.
That's true.
Video game.
Well, maybe yours, not mine.
Well, even still, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like our parents were as ignorant as each other when it came to picking up video games.
Nope.
I feel like when it came to that, our parents were like, whatever, it's a video game.
Yeah.
Parents now don't see it that way. There's so much media driven toward
That's true.
how bad video games are. They should know better if they're good parents. Like, there's really no excuse at this point.
No.
10,
Bad
15
parenting.
years ago, sure, pick up whatever game that they want. It's a game. It's a video game.
A bunch of kids knew about Undertale. Do you know about Undertale?
I know that it's a game.
All right. Well, that's awesome, though. Plastic Oak. Undertale is an awesome game, and that makes me happy. You know?
Yeah.
To see an indie game like that, like, have an awareness. I mean, that's me from that side. I don't know if it's necessarily appropriate for children, but it is awesome that they knew about it.
Like, I was hoping, like, in a perfect world, you would think that most parents of young children, especially middle school age and younger, would own a Wii U, and everyone would have Pikmin and Super Mario 3D World, and they would learn mechanics that way. And you know that's not true. You know that most people are playing their first-person shooters and
Call of Duty.
GTA 5, which they should not play.
Did you see the sales numbers for GTA 5?
Amazing.
65 million units. 65 million.
It's crazy.
That's more than every Call of Duty ever.
Ever made.
That's insane.
That's insane.
In 3 years, well, less than 3 years.
And they've had no pushback from the amount of Let's Plays, from the amount of borrowed content. They've just let it all happen. And it's just, all it's done for them is just print money.
Can you, like, the amount of money that they're making off of shark cards, like the in-game currency for multiplayer, is insane.
Yeah. And
On top of the software sales.
they're set to announce multiple projects at E3.
Well,
Projects.
They should. They need to make Red Dead. Red Dead 2. That needs to happen.
Red Dead could be one project.
Yeah. It
And
needs
then
to be
there's
at least one of them.
projects.
Right.
So I'm curious what the second one could be.
Well, it could be Agent. It could be another bully.
Another
it could
bully?
Be, it could be
Another Max Payne, maybe.
Maybe.
Too soon, maybe, but
No.
I don't suspect it'll be a GTA,
No.
but
I mean, it's in development, but they're not going to.
but they have tons of things they can work with.
Yeah.
But but back to Plastic Oak's point. It's not the games you wish it was for kids, right? Like when I think like I don't know if you think like this, and Brian may think like this. I don't know, but when you think about like I'm gonna have kids,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Think about like I need to introduce them to the games that I loved as a kid.
Right.
I want to introduce them to, obviously, well, if you could name like 5 franchises you would introduce your kids to.
Right.
Mario, obviously, harmless game. And what are your kids going to do? Run outside and step on mushrooms? Fucking let them.
Yeah.
Link, what are they going to do? Run outside and wish they had a wooden sword to hit trees with?
They're gonna do
let
it
them.
anyway.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Metroid, completely harmless. There's no semblance of what Metroid is in the real world. It's just a space game.
Right. It's science fiction.
It's science fiction. Kirby. What's Kirby? A fucking pillowcase that eats farts? Like, no one gives a shit what Kirby does.
That's true.
And then like I can't even think of a fifth one because the first four are so fucking amazing. Like what are you gonna like? It doesn't even matter. Like all of the point is Nintendo.
Yeah.
You're going to introduce your kids to Nintendo stuff. If there's no more Nintendo and they license it to Microsoft, then it becomes like a first-person Kirby shooter, where it's like Kirby's of War, and you're like the beach of Nam, and you're like on the you're shooting whatever with pillowcases filled with farts.
Sucking Charlie out of the trees.
Like you lose every bit of charm. Like I worry about that. I don't want it to lose its innocence. Nintendo knows its audience, and I think it knows its audience are kids, and I think sometimes it loses the sight that its kids have grown up.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I think there are Nintendo's problems have never been creative. They've been business problems.
Yeah.
It's just weird business methods.
Like they wanted to think outside the box. They kind of hit a home run with the Wii, probably not even expecting it.
I felt like the Wii was almost like a pop song though. It's like it was everywhere for like a year.
Yeah,
and
old
then
people, young
about
people,
it.
everybody
liked it. And then it was like, Gangnam Style or Daddy or something. It's like, it's everywhere. And then everyone's like, I kind of remember something about that.
And that we've learned from that, though.
Yeah.
And Nintendo, I think once
Hopefully
they hit
Nintendo
they want to hit that same home run. They want to be like, but we did this with the Wii.
Right.
And they want to try to do it again, but it's like, hey, listen, we've wisened up. We know that there are gimmicks.
Yeah.
We know that there are VR itself might even be a gimmick. Like a year from now, we might not even want to come to Brian's house for this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, but what if a year from now there's something better the old way we've been doing it? We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
Hey, I'm trying to launch Audio Shield. It might crap out like it did before.
It looks like it's good.
All right.
Audio Shield's being launched. It might crap out.
Cropped out.
Well, this is letting the listener know.
He's a little drunk.
I've had
Crap.
this is my 11th beer tonight.
I don't think it is.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Since you've been here?
No.
Okay.
No, I had a few for you. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you good? You need some water? You need to start soaking
I
up a
do
little?
need to start some beer. Water.
You want cold or tepid?
Water. Cold.
I don't think there's any cold left, buddy.
I'll take that. To say the word that you don't throw out there. What kind of water do you want? Yes.
Yes.
Cold or debit?
debit,
That's good.
That'd be
You
good.
say it, yeah, that'd be fine.
What have you been drinking? You've had a Boston Ale. You've had some Vienna Lager.
Well, I tell you, there's a local one to us, Salem, Virginia, Parkway Get Bent Mountain IPA.
Now, Bent Mountain is a local mountain.
And I
in
had
our
3
region.
of those, and those are really good beers. I had 3 of those, and I had one just standard
Like
Bud
piss
Light
beer,
kind
yeah.
of piss beer
Yeah.
to go out on. And then I've had, I don't know, a number of Vienna Lagers, which is also a local beer.
Devil's
and
Backbone.
and a one at least Samuel Adams Boston Ale. So I've had a number of just
And
regular
you had
beer.
a 1554 by New Belgium.
And I did have. Gosh, I'm forgetting the beers I've had. So I've had a number of beers. I've been doing okay there, Plastic Oak, and I'm drinking a water.
Nice guzzling sounds.
Thank you.
Yeah, boy.
I think it's important. Like I feel like I've seen Twitch streams before where people like I've been drinking all night long, and then they drink just 2 Bud Lights.
Right. Yeah.
You're my witness. You've seen me. I've drank a number of libations.
Yeah. Craft beers.
I have an excuse for being bad at video games and rambling onward about
No,
Nintendo.
that's good. That's good. We like talking
I
about Nintendo.
love Nintendo. Do you want to talk more about Nintendo?
We could do that.
I fucking love Nintendo, and let me tell you why.
Yeah.
The 16-bit era.
Yeah. It's the SNES, man.
I am blown away by it.
The SNES was awesome.
Here's the thing.
I
So
didn't have one for long enough.
well-
I missed so many games on SNES.
yeah. Here's me.
Here's you, a collector.
I only had the 8-bit for years, right? For my childhood, I never owned a SNES. I only had a Genesis, which I only owned mostly racing and sports games on. So I didn't know. Those games are fine,
Right.
and I think they get a bad rap. And I had fun with them. But I never really knew the ins and outs of the 16-bit Genesis back catalog of like games that weren't that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that had a SNES, and even he had a lot of SNES sports games, which I, as a kid, knew my Genesis could outperform in that regard. Fast forward like 20 years, I've been collecting for the NES for a while, and I've been playing a lot of games from that backlog, and I know a good and a bad game when I see it now. Like,
Sure.
I consider myself almost an expert in the Nintendo realm. NES. When it comes
Regular
to
Nintendo.
the regular Nintendo,
The non-super.
When it comes to the SNES, I'm still iffy. Like, I feel like a lot of those games look really good. Not all of them are great. And I've poked around in a few, especially the RPGs, because I know that is what that system is based upon. Like,
A lot of it, yeah.
seriously, when it all, like, if you were to grab all the SNES games in the library and melt it down, you're left with a bunch of really good RPGs.
I feel like there's some good fighting games also.
Really good fighting games,
Street Fighter, Mortal
for sure.
Kombat.
I'm not good at those, so I
decent,
kind of
but not
default
great.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. And I default more to the RPGs because those shine through. I mean, there are a ton.
Also, wasn't Super Mario RPG wasn't its first entry on SNES?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, there you
only.
go. Oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
well
there's
I mean,
no-
I think there's been some spin-offs on the handhelds.
Really, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's
So-
been a couple of those.
But and that's another one that I want to play. But when it comes down to that RPG, and I feel like the 16-bit RPG just knew me. Like, it was like it's the right amount of time, it's the right the right amount of difficulty. Whereas like if you even by the time you get to the PlayStation 2 era of RPG, it's so convoluted. Like, it's heavy. Like,
Oh, yeah.
You better don't buy another game for a year.
Yeah, you
Like,
got to
is
know
it-
what you're doing when you get this game.
Yeah, SNES RPG, like, this is like a month of this is a good time for you.
Right.
And that's where its soft spot is for me. Most NES games I play, it's 45 minutes of solid, good, strung fun together if you can get it just right.
Right.
That's that RPG SNES era, and you're going to get
16 hours,
a
yeah.
few hours of just good.
Well, I think that's the beautiful thing about it because you had the first party entries on SNES. I think were really great. You know, the Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island, Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Star Fox. You know, just
And that's first party. You just
Yeah.
named first party.
yeah. So I'm saying the first party were amazing, and then they had really good third party support from people like Square,
And Enix and
Enix.
Quintet, which all eventually combined to make Square Enix.
Yeah. So
Which is-
it was stacked.
So good. Yeah. So amazing.
yeah. Switch.
Might have bear.
Well, it's probably a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's I agree with you completely, and I played a number of them, and I think they're all great. You can tell they're well made.
My SNES, I played the shit out of Killer Instinct, NBA Jam,
Just a port.
which is port, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo,
Port.
and Star Fox. I think those are the only games I remember playing for my Super Nintendo. I did not have it terribly long.
So your grandparents?
Yeah. Well, no. My parents got me one because my grandparents said if I would have asked for it, they would have given it to me. But
Right,
they didn't,
right.
so they kept it.
That's awful.
The jerks.
Did your grandparents ever play it?
Yeah, a little bit.
They did. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What did
They
What
played
did
Super Mario
grandparents
World
play?
and Black Bass Fishing or Super Black Bass Fishing.
That's why they made that game.
Yeah.
It was for people that
Grandparents.
bought that game for their grandchildren. Their grandchildren
It's like,
were either dicks or died, and so they just kept it for bass fishing.
I feel like for me, the golden era of Nintendo, for me, I had a NES, I had a SNES, but N64 is where I came online
It's
with video games in general.
Yeah, I think
that was
that's
the
where
one.
people of both yours and my generation found most of their memories, because I feel like that was when we
was
could
good
say
age.
those were the games that we wanted. And
Right.
when I was at NES age, it was just I didn't know what games
you
were
looked
out
through
there.
a catalog and there was a pretty cover, and you're like, let me get that cover with the dude with the sword, and it turned out to be some shit game.
The only game I ever wanted for NES was I saw that Zelda had a sequel, and I wanted that.
Right, and you hated it.
And I didn't like it.
Yeah.
When it came to I saw the only reason I wanted a Genesis. I went to a friend's house and they were playing Looney Tunes, and I saw how fast the character could move and grab carrots, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta
must have
have
this.
that. And I got that instead, and they ended up playing a lot of sports games on it, which were fine. It was the best console for sports.
Did you crash, Briz?
What's that?
Did you crash?
Not yet.
Okay. I thought I heard music and then it stopped.
Oh, it was.
Loading.
It was like the preview
Gotcha.
while you're picking your difficulty.
So smart.
But I don't ever remember saying like, "Hey, I want this game for my Genesis."
Right.
But I do remember for that next generation, which I didn't own an N64. I had a PlayStation.
I ended up with both that generation.
Now I crashed.
But I specifically remember
Looks
asking
like you just
for
paused it,
PlayStation
bro.
games.
Huh?
Looks like you just paused it.
Yeah, it looks
Oh.
like you can hit resume. Can you?
How do you pause it?
I don't know, but there's a resume right on the screen here.
There he is.
But yeah, N64, man.
That was the era for me where I could pick what I
Turok,
wanted.
GoldenEye, Star Fox, Mario, Mario Kart, Ocarina of Time. Yeah, it was worth a bunch of shit. Worth it. So worth it. Loved it. And then I got a PlayStation. And that's when I started branching out a little bit in terms of just non-Nintendo games I was playing. I was like, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series, Army Men.
Playing Tomb Raider or
I did
Twisted
not
Metal.
I did play some Twisted Metal 2. I think I played. Yeah, I started branching out a bit. Then I got a GameCube. Kind of hated it.
I remember during the PlayStation days, there's this game in this. I don't think it was in a catalog, but I remember seeing it. And
That
it
looks
was-
good, Briz. That looks like a fun one.
It was about a dude, like a. It looked very Dungeons and Dragons-y.
Okay.
And it looked like he was kind of moving through a dark area, just kind of collecting skulls, and you know how it is.
Yeah, I know how you do.
And I don't even remember the name of the game, and I've looked for it since. And my parents wouldn't buy it for me because they're like, it looks like Dungeons and Dragons, in which there was still a stigma evidently attached to it in the late
Sure.
'90s.
Yeah.
And I was never able to have the game. And I remember a friend at school was like, "Yeah, I got the game. It's like all right." And I was like, I don't care what he said to me.
Right.
I was
Yeah,
like,
you liked it.
I wanted it.
Yeah, you needed
I never got a hold of it. To this day, I don't know. I don't
You
even
don't even know
remember.
the game it is?
I've looked, and I
Some
thought it
dude
was
collecting
called.
skulls.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was called something Dungeons or something like that, and I have yet to discover what the name of it is. But it was. I remember the cover of it being kind of dark, and there were some like torches lit, and he was like fighting his way through like a dark hallway. And it was like the picture on the cover was of the guy from the game. Like it wasn't like artist rendering. It was of like the pixelated like
Okay.
polygonal guy in the game. And I have yet. I mean, there's so many PlayStation games.
Sure.
There's 1,700 of them. I have yet to come across it. But to this day, I'm like, man, I wonder what that game was like. It was the only game that I really, really wanted for that system. It could have been a shit game,
Right.
For all I know.
Didn't matter. You wanted it.
It looked like what I wanted Zelda to be. I'm like, oh man, this guy's got a fucking sword and skulls and shit. It looks dark as fuck. I want it so bad. I never got it. Never got it. I don't know what it was. I've looked for it since. I don't know what it is. Dungeons and something, dragons and something. I don't know.
Some dragon.
Some dungeon dragon. I didn't get that. And instead, I got a ton of sports football games. That's what I did. That's why Polykill's so lame. That's why our podcast is so lame. Because all I did for, I don't know, 15 years of sports games.
Podcast is lame.
Our podcast is pretty sweet. Plastic Oak there. You should check it out. Polykill.com. You can also check it out on YouTube. We didn't upload the last one, but you can go to polykill.libsyn.com. Check out all our sweet. That's what you should say in the ad that you write for Fiverr.
Check out our sweet
And you can, if you're hard up for a good podcast, you can go.
If you need something to listen to, you've literally ran out of everything else. You've listened to kittens being beat to death in an alley. You've listened to that on loop for 12 hours. You're tired of it.
You're tired of it.
You want something new.
You discover that at some point you actually kind of had a compassion for kittens, and you started feeling bad. Turn to us. Polykill.com/kittens.
Kittens piss.
Getting the plug in there.
/kittens./.puss.
Is there anything you need to tell me while I can hear you?
No. I mean, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Do you need us to go?
And your butt looks good wearing them shorts.
I think I might do one more song, and then somebody else can do something if you want, or you can leave if you want.
It's also. Did we tell you it was 2 a.m.? You can make us leave if you want.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sober enough to drive. I don't know about this cat.
I'm okay, but Plastic Oak is still here, so. We entertain until the last person.
Yeah, Amy texted me and said that we were funny lads. So she was watching at some point. I don't know when.
should ask her. At what point were we funny? We need to know. This is science. We have to figure it out.
The kitten promo is what sold the podcast to him. All right, so this guy likes a dark sense of humor. Plastic coat. Really?
Oh, sweet.
Was an open book.
We should start talking about kittens more in the podcast.
It's like, by the way, kittens.
You like Lil Peth? No, they got kittens.
Podcast Pub?
Did you saw the wrestling thing I sent you?
Yeah, I saw that. Actually, I saw that on
I
Reddit.
just really wanted to post. It's like, yes, please Google wet pink wine because that was what they called Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Wet pink wine. Oh, that was funny.
Yeah. That was it was funny.
Yeah, it was a funny thing. Got some love on the face.
What else you got there, Plastic Oak? There. What else you got for us there? I was enjoying it. That was nice.
Yeah, that was a good chat.
Well, you think about it in terms of podcasts, we come up with our own kind of hypothetical questions to answer,
That is true.
and it's nice to just be asked one.
Yeah.
We've been doing these podcasts for going on almost a year at this point.
Yeah, close to it. That's crazy.
No one's really asked us the question.
Well, really. I mean, we got a Latino lawyer up there in Michigan.
Yeah, we got a few fans, but nobody that's comes out and it's like, hey, well, what do you think about this? Which I think is fine.
Yeah.
It's when I'm a little lubed up with beer, I'm free to answer any question you got.
KY helps too.
KY is a big producer of question answers.
What are you gonna do with that?
I'll answer a whole slew of questions at that point. But yeah. No, I think it's good. It's good feedback. Feedback's always good.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like, I think of something to discuss for the next couple of minutes while he's doing this.
Heads up, I found you guys because someone posted your channel in the Vive subreddit. That would be Briz. Briz did that.
Well, Carol, bud.
Yeah, this is Brian's Reddit account, Citizen Gamer. Mine and Jake here, the two people you see in front of you, we do the Polykill podcast, and Briz, the guy that posted it, does a lot of blogs for us. We're all under kind of one envelope, so to speak. We're all in the games, and so I'm glad you checked us out.
We all have our unique spheres. I play most of the new stuff. Trav plays a lot of the old stuff, and Brian, he plays VR.
He does a lot of VR stuff. If you would like to check out, I mean, let's say that you're not turned off by us because we're drunk, and you think that there's a lot of things that we say are actually kind of interesting. You can check us out if you just Google Polykill podcast. You should be able to find most of our stuff. And I would say start with episode 18, but there are a number of episodes in there that people like.
It's evergreen. There's nothing in there that requires a sequential listen. We might do some callbacks to a game that we're working on, but it's nothing sequential.
Yeah, we're up to what, average of 250 or so per episode? Is that 180, 200?
Probably around 180, 200.
Yeah, that's not bad. Well, we're getting there. And only half of them are bots. And only half of those bots are sex bots. So, I mean, it's pretty good.
Whatever.
I'll podcast all day for one sex bot.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I love a good sex bot.
I'll fuck all day for one pod bot.
Yeah, I'll fuck whatever you want for a listener. Well, give me one listener.
I need that on record, please.
You can throw your hamper at me. I'll fuck whatever you hit me with. Oh, wet sock, give me. I'll take it down.
How you doing? Welcome back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti. You all right there, big dog? We did a whole podcast without you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This has been like a freaking 10-hour live stream that we've done here.
The only, making it so that they can hear you clearly on the mic means that I can't hear you at all. So I was just playing games.
That's fine. Yeah.
You
So I
probably.
have no idea what you guys are
Well,
talking
it's actually probably better because we weren't saying anything that was relevant.
We were just talking about the Nintendo there.
Yeah, because he was asking us questions.
What do you
and
think
we
about the
were answering.
Newcastle? You like it?
about. I like this plastic goat guy.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Man. He said did you hear us? He said, heads up, I found you guys because someone posted your channel in the Vive subreddit. So that was all you.
Right.
Yeah. So be sure you track him down somehow and thank him. That's awesome.
What do you think about the Newcastle?
It's decent.
Yeah.
These,
It's a sweet
you liked
brown
the
ale.
Logger too. You liked Vienna Lager.
Oh shit.
I want to say they had sort of a similar flavor.
Yeah.
He's my new boo.
It's a sweet ale.
I feel like Vienna Lager is a
step
step below in terms of like overall flavor.
Newcastle's actually.
Like you get a lot more flavor out of Newcastle. Is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah.
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 I feel like I had a good gradual.
Yeah.
build.
Right.
I had a fat tire.
Yeah.
Vienna,
Fuck yeah. Perfect.
and Newcastle. It kind of worked my way up.
That was
a little bit.
perfect. Perfect stair step. I
Well,
think.
see, that's the way I do with music. You know, you start off with a little.
Beach Boys, and then you
Little
move
Beach
up
Boys,
to
and then you move
Amon
up-
Marath, and then
Well, you start off with Hanson.
Hanson move up to
Now,
Backstreet Boys.
Hanson's the goal, though. Let's be honest. That's where you want to get.
then
but
Amon Marath, and
And then
then
I'm on Amarth.
Marth, whatever.
And then you move on to Lamb of God. And then I found the hardest band I've ever listened to today.
Yeah.
Hardest band. I don't even know if I can listen to them. They're called Nails. It's just literally the name of the band is Nails. And god damn, they're hard. Oh, it's insane. They're called the angriest
nails, not 9 inch.
angriest band in the world is what they're called.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane. It's like 2.5 minute songs of. It's just like insanely fast blast beats and just lots of yelling. No
I
melody.
don't know if I can get down with that sort of stuff.
I can't. Like I like the growling and the screaming, but I can't do that melodic 2.5 minute rage thing. Like
Yeah.
give me.
Hanson,
You're really
generic
pissed
beer in a
off
box.
that
He
That's a good
says
point. Yeah. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like underage Bud Light. And
they really are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like O'Doul's.
like, Bud.
Bud.
Bud Light.
It took you like 2 minutes to get that joke. You're like,
Well, no, I got the joke. You know, it's fine.
Processing.
yeah, wait.
It's
wait,
fine.
wait.
It's whatever.
I need to laugh here in a second.
Does anybody want to do anything else? Or are we shutting it down?
I think I'm Gucci bra.
It's late.
It is. It's pretty late. I'm glad you invited us over for this long.
a good time.
Yeah,
it was a
it's
great time, man.
Yeah, thanks for providing the space.
I'm excited that Plastic Oak joined us for a good portion
Thank
of
you
it.
for hanging out.
That
It's
was
been fun.
really awesome. Again,
Maybe
Polykill. Check out Polykill if you.
You will. You will. I swear to God, you're going to drive them off now.
If you-
Kittens, remember kittens.
If you like nonsensical drivel for hours on end, check out Polykill.
It's just an hour,
It's
per
just
se.
an hour, and it's awesome.
And it's much more on topic.
Much more on topic. Less
drunk
alcohol.
than
Less drunk.
he is right
Less
now.
less drunkenness of the alcohol.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was awesome. It was good to have somebody to bounce
Yeah.
ideas off of. It was good.
It's fun times. Oh, shit. Knocking shit over.
Briz, what about you? Did you enjoy?
Yeah,
The experience?
I'm super impressed
Yes.
with the Vive. Like, big time.
You need to come play it when we're not streaming sometimes so you can see what it's really like.
Yeah, it's
fair.
it's
Like
much
the-
smoother without the glitchiness of the stream.
Yeah,
I think.
like when,
yeah.
when
Like, I wasn't noticing it too bad, like when I was playing Space Pirate Trainer there at the end.
yeah.
Like, that felt super smooth to me. And I even, like, upped the quality, and it still felt smooth.
Okay.
So,
I didn't even know you could up the quality.
yeah, there's like a I don't know, a setting in there. It was like good or better, and I went to better.
Oh, nice.
I like to skip the options menu and I just jump straight
Yeah,
in.
yeah. That's just a fun idea.
Yeah, like I didn't notice it. I noticed it when I played Longbow that it was different because that's the game I played the most.
Mm.
Right.
And I could tell it was a little catchy.
This arm is going to be sore tomorrow.
Like I could tell it wasn't as smooth as it had been. So you know what? I know you seem to be pretty excited about it, but I feel like it could be. You're saying it could be better. You know, like I feel like it's much smoother without a lot of what's bogging down the computer.
I might check in on like the Twitch subreddit and be like, is there something I can do to make it stream better
Yeah.
or to work better when it's streaming?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Because I am streaming at 1080p. or
Twice?
whatever. Twice?
Almost? Aren't you streaming?
know.
I mean, you're streaming his video or your scene video and
the video that Twitch gets is supposed to be 1080. So,
right.
like this whole
Collectively.
thing.
Collectively,
so I
yeah.
don't know exactly what it's doing with the cameras.
But that's what I was saying. Like you're recording it like 3 times, right? Aren't you? Like you're taking from your
You got 3
computer,
sources.
you're taking from that webcam, you're taking from another webcam, and combining it all together. I mean, it seems like it'd probably be a load. I don't know.
Yeah. There might be something I can do to lighten the
I mean, it'd probably be okay even if one of these cameras were not 1080.
yeah.
Yeah, you can always downscale
Or
that
maybe
shit.
just stick with one camera. Don't worry about the other one.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll figure it out.
That's good.
For sure. Yeah, no, I thought it worked really well. I mean, shit.
All right. See ya, Plastic Oak.
Thanks.
Peace. Have a good night.
You can click stop streaming right there.
Stop streaming. What?